Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your, what's today? Tuesday morning flow. I'm outside today because it's so nice outside and the birds are really giving us their best show. So hopefully you can hear them and also hear me. Last time I was outside, you guys had a bit of a hard time hearing me, but I don't think there's going to be any lawn mowing today, fingers crossed. So I'll try to project my voice as best as possible. So if you haven't already found a space to get comfortable and maybe practice, go ahead and do that. If maybe you want to just listen, that's cool too. And if you want to save the video for later, it will be saved on our page for later. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Today we're doing a gentle flow. So still a bit of a flow, but kind of cutting back on the vinyasas a little bit to keep it a little bit lighter, and then offering plenty of modifications as you know I like to do. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, I think I positioned the camera correctly so that you can see me. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and start seated and do a quiet little meditation just to kind of get our minds connected to our bodies and kind of calling in an intention for our practice so that we can really stay grounded during a time when it feels like everything is out of our control. So if you want to just come to a comfortable seat, however you like to sit, hands can rest wherever you like them, palms up if you feel that you need to receive a little bit of energy, palms down if you feel like you're a little bit over energized, maybe a little bit of anxiety and you want to just kind of calm down. So rolling the shoulders back, sitting up tall, feel free to close the eyes here if you like to, or maybe just soften the gaze. Deep breath in through the nose, full breath in. So breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Once more. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just breathing normally, observing your quality of breath and calling into mind an intention that serves you, an intention that will keep you anchored and grounded to your practice today. Perhaps calling in the intention of connecting body, breath, and spirit. Perhaps calling in an intention of allowing this practice to be an offering of loving kindness to all those who are suffering, all those living in fear. And perhaps making our practice be a little bit more global, reminding ourselves that our practice keeps us connected to the earth and keeps us connected to each other, and it keeps us connected to ourselves. And so calling into mind that thread that connects us all and offering our practice as a way to connect us all through our loving kindness, through our compassion, our understanding. And then gently blinking the eyes open if you have them closed, and we will go ahead and get started with a little bit of movement. And so I often like to have the intention of offering my practice to all so that it keeps me connected and it makes me feel that my practice is more than just for me, that it's a way to offer loving kindness to all those around us. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and just go ahead and make your way to hands and knees position. And we'll bring wrists under shoulders and knees under hips, and we'll start with a few rounds of cat-cow. So when you're ready, with the breath in, drop the belly, lift the chest, flip the tailbone for cow. Exhale, round the spine for cat. Inhaling to cow. Exhaling to cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. And then coming back to neutral here, just adding whatever movement you like in your cat-cow. So maybe you like to kind of roll around in your cat-cow. So take 3 more and whatever movement you like. So as you drop to cow, maybe you like to switch side to side. As you round out, maybe you like to rock forward. Good. So any movement you like, just to kind of get things warmed up, wiggle around some. Good. And then once you've done a couple on your own, then go ahead and start to come back to neutral, and we'll go ahead and press into our first downward facing dog. So gently tuck the toes under, sit the hips to the heels, stretch out your little toes a little bit, and then with the exhale, go ahead and lift back into your first downward facing dog. Pull this back so you guys can see better. All right, and in your first down dog, you may want to pedal out or just kind of wiggle around or bend your knees. Good. All right, and then on the inhale, we're going to come forward to plank. So take the full breath in to come forward. With the exhale, lower the knees. Inhale, drop to cow. Exhale, round it out. Back to neutral with the breath in. And then with the exhale, bring the knees wide. Sit the hips to the heels, take a child's pose. So kind of a little modified vinyasa this morning. If you want to take the full vinyasa or you want a little bit of a different variation, go for it, whatever feels good to you. And we'll try that again. So come forward to hands and knees. Tuck the toes, exhale, push back. Inhale forward to a little plank. Exhale, lower the knees. Good, then from here, inhale, drop to cow. Exhale, round it out. Inhale, back to neutral. Take the knees a bit wider. Exhale, sit back, child's pose. And remember, for child's pose, you can have knees wide or knees together if you prefer that. Good, we'll do that once more, whatever variation you like. Coming back to our downward facing dog. Inhaling forward to our plank. Exhale to lower the knees. Inhale, drop to cow. Exhale, round it out. Back to neutral, take the knees a bit wider, and with the exhale, child's pose. And then when you're ready, go ahead and press back into your downward facing dog. From our down dog, we're actually going to stretch back and start to walk the hands back toward the feet. So a little bit different from what we normally do. As you come into a fold, remember you can bend the knees to take pressure off the hamstrings and lower back. On the breath in, bring the hands to the shins, press out halfway. Exhale, fold back down, bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up, breathing in as you roll up through the spine. The shoulders release down the back. Inhale to reach. Exhale as you fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway. Exhale to fold. Bend the knees, drop the hips, roll it up, breathing in. Shoulders down the back with the exhale. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway. On the exhale, fold back down. Once more, bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up, breathing in as you roll up. Shoulders release down the back with the exhale. Take the feet a little bit wider, maybe just a bit wider than the width of the hips, or maybe even as wide as the mat if you like that, and if you have a mat. If you don't have a mat, just go about a little bit wider than the width of the hips. Take the hands, interlace the fingers at your lower back, open up the shoulders. So you can feel free to keep the elbows bent here, or you can press those arms to straight, keeping the tailbone down, the ribs in, pelvis neutral. Good. Breathe here. With the exhale, bring your chin to your chest. Good. Inhale, bring the head to neutral. Exhale, bring the right ear to the right shoulder. You can even bring your knuckles over to the left if that feels good. Inhale, everything back to center. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Stay there, or bring your knuckles to the right. Inhale, back to center. This time with the exhale, just release the hands, bring hands to hips. Walk the feet back to about hips width distance. Good. As you inhale, reach those arms up. With the exhale, fold forward. Feel free to bend the knees as you fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway. Exhale to fold back down. From here, we're going to take our feet about the width of the mat. If you don't have a mat, a little bit wider than the width of your hips. Toes are going to stay toward the front, so toes are nice and neutral. Fingertips are going to come down, so if you can't quite reach, remember, bend the knees or bring the floor up to meet you. Maybe put your hands on a table or your couch or a chair. Breathe here, nice long spine. Exhale, bend those knees. This is actually nice because I can just sit on this little couch. Pretend you're going to sit on a little couch behind you, or actually sit on one. Inhale, extend. Exhale to bend. So maybe bend to about the height of the knees, maybe a little bit higher if your knees are sensitive. Inhale, extend. And then exhale once more, bend. Good, hold here. Breathe in, extend. Exhale, walk the feet back to hips width distance. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale as you fold. Now take your hands down, walk your hands forward to come back into your downward facing dog. Good. From our down dog, stretch back, look forward, and step or walk your feet to your hands. As you breathe in, come up halfway, lengthen. Exhale to fold back down. And then bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up, breathing in as you roll up. Shoulders release down the back with the exhale. Inhale to reach out and up, palms touch. Exhale to release, fold forward. Inhale as you lengthen halfway. Exhale to fold. From your fold, put a little bend in your knees. Fingertips are going to tap down. Take your left foot and step it way back. Good. So first, find a super long lunge. If you want to go ahead and put the knee down, go for it. If not, keep that back leg super strong. Good. Breathe here. Take the left hand underneath the left shoulder on fingertips on your mat or maybe on a book if you have one. Right hand to the outside of the right knee. Inhale as you lengthen the spine. With the exhale, start to twist, reaching the right arm up with the breath in. Hug the right knee in, extend, breathe. With the exhale, take the right hand down, take the left knee down. Let the hips relax forward. Stay here on fingertips. Maybe pop up to the knee or maybe reach all the way up. I'm going to go with the knee today. Breathe here, shoulders roll down the back, ribs pull in. With the exhale, take the hands down, tuck the toes, push back to your downward facing dog. We're just going to pedal out in our down dog today. If you want to take a vinyasa, go for it. If not, we'll wait. Good. And then from here, with your next exhale, your left foot is going to step between the hands. Right knee is going to pop down. Good. And just kidding, you're going to keep that right knee lifted if you had it lifted on the other side. If you put it down, go ahead and put it down. But if you had the leg lifted for the twist, keep it lifted. Let the hips relax. This left knee hugs in. It's going to want to open up, so hug it in. Good. Breathe here. Take the right hand underneath the right shoulder. Lengthen the spine. Remember, you can always put the back knee down. Good. Inhale here, and then with the exhale, start to twist. Inhale, left arm reaches up. So I want to think length from wrist to wrist, and my legs are hugging in, so I'm protecting my body. I can look up at my hand, maybe down at my foot, but I'm hugging the left knee in. Breathe here. Exhale, left hand comes down, right knee taps down. Hips can rest forward, and then just pause here on fingertips. You can pop up to the knee, or you can reach all the way up. I'm going to hang out with the knee today. Breathe. Shoulders roll down the back. And then with the exhale, I'm going to bring my hands down, and again, press back into downward facing dog. Good. From my down dog, I'm going to take my feet wide, about the width of the mat. If you don't have a mat, about a little bit wider than the width of your hips. And then I'm going to start to press back. Relaxing the head and neck here. I can even turn my toes in, my heels out slightly. I can shake out the head and neck. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale. Deep breath in. Open the mouth, exhale. Good. All right. And then from here, we're going to walk the feet back to hips width, and we're going to pop down to hands and knees. Good. So from here, I'm going to inhale, drop to cow just once. Exhale, round out just once. Come back to neutral. From here, right leg is going to step back with those toes tucked under. I'm going to breathe here. Good. Then from here, I'm gonna flex the foot, and I can keep those toes tapping down, or I can start to lift the leg. Notice that when you lift the leg, sometimes it makes you wanna dump into your lower back, so pull the belly button up and in. Protect your own back. Good. Stay here, breathe. Then, from here, I'll turn this way so you can actually see what I'm doing here. So I've got my right leg back, toes can be tucked, or I can lift the leg. From here, I'm gonna turn my right toes out, like I'm gonna turn them toward this grass over here. And then with the exhale, check it out, I'm gonna bend my knee, bring it forward like I'm gonna tap my elbow. And then I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna try to keep both arms nice and straight so I'm not leaning off to the side. So I'm breathing, turning the toes out, exhale, bring it in, get into the hip. Inhale, bring it back. Doesn't have to tap, that's not important. Turn the toes out, exhale, bring it in. Inhale, bring it back. Then I'm gonna exhale, just put that leg down. Same thing, other side. So if you wanna keep your toes down, you can just slide your foot. If you've got a carpet or something, you can just slide your foot on the carpet. So left foot steps back, toes under. Pull those ribs up and in, pull the belly button toward the spine. Stay here, or inhale, lift the leg, foot flex, toes down. Breathing. Stabilize through the spine. Both hands are nice and flat. I'm gonna try not to lean side to side here. It's tempting, but we're gonna try not to. Inhale to lengthen, turn the toes out. Exhale to pull in like my knee is gonna tap my armpit. Inhale, send it back. Turn the toes out, exhale, bring it in. Inhale, send it back. Turn the toes out, exhale, bring it in. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, put it down. And then from here, we're gonna take child's pose. So knees can be wide or together. Oh gosh, I'm getting all dusty. Knees wide or knees together, arms forward or arms back. And remember that if child's pose doesn't feel relaxing to you, you can just sit back. I'm already sweating. You guys knew that. Take a couple of breaths in child's pose. Relax the forehead, the shoulders, right? Breathe here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and press it back into your downward facing dog. All right, now that our hips are happy and warmed up, take the inhale, take that right leg, up and back, foot flexed, toes down. With the exhale, I'm gonna step this right foot between my hands. I'm gonna wiggle my left foot back, and again, I'm coming back to this low lunge position. Breathe here. With the exhale, left knee is gonna come down again, just like it did before. But this time, I'm gonna take this right foot, walk it out to the edge of my mat, turn the toes out, the heel in for lizard. So as I bend the knee, my knee is opening up so that my hips can rest forward. And I wanna be sure that my knee is in line with my ankle, not going past the ankle and not getting any weird angle here. So I'm protecting my joints. Hands are gonna rest underneath the shoulders, maybe on books if you have them, maybe if you've got a couple of dictionaries or blocks even, you can use that. You can always walk forward. You can always pop down to your forearms. You can always keep the back leg lifted. So if you feel like, man, I really got a lot of energy today, maybe pump that back leg up. I'm not really feeling that today. So we're gonna breathe here. Good. Keep breathing, relax into the shoulders, relax into that hip. Good. Gently come back to your hands. Pause here, breathe. Good. All right, from here, we're gonna take the left hand, walk it forward, maybe even off to the left a little bit. I like to walk it out to the left a little bit so that when I lean into this left hand, I can press away from the shoulder and I'm not sinking into the shoulder, right? I'm gonna take the right hand to the inside of my right knee and just very gently press open so it's a little baby twist. And breathing. Good, I can stay here or I can take this right arm and reach up and open. Breathing there. Good. And then with the exhale, I'm gonna bring the right hand under the right shoulder, slide the left hand under the left shoulder. I'm gonna tuck those back toes, straighten the leg, exhale, bring it back, downward facing dog. Pedal out a little bit if it feels good. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So the left leg is gonna come up, foot flexed, toes down. I'm pressing my chest back, keeping the hips even. The height of the leg is not as important as the stability of the hips. With the exhale, step the foot between the hands. Right foot's gonna wiggle back so that I can gently place that right knee down. Good. If you wanna keep this back leg lifted for a couple of breaths, you can take that option. And then when you're ready, putting that knee down. From here, take the left foot, walk it out. Turn the toes out, heel in. So I'm opening my knee so that my hips can relax forward and my chest can relax forward. Because if my knee is here, my chest is gonna just run into my leg, right? So I'm gonna relax the hips forward, turn the toes out a little bit, and I'm just gonna stay on hands for a couple of breaths, see how that feels, breathe. I can start to take my right hand forward and off the mat over to, no, just kidding, we're not gonna do that yet. You can stay on hands, you can walk forward, I skipped a step, or you can pop down. And we're gonna take about 5 breaths here. And then when you're ready, gently come back to your hands if you're not already there. Take that right hand, walk it forward, maybe off to the right a little bit. Lean into that right hand, but keep pressing away from the shoulder so you don't collapse into that shoulder. Keep pressing away. It's a nice active pose. Left hand is just going to rest to the inside of my left knee. And I'm just going to gently look back over my shoulder, but only if it feels good. If it kind of hurts your neck, you can just kind of look to the left. And breathing here. I can stay here, or I can take that left arm up. I can even start to reach it back a little bit to get opening in the chest. Breathing here. And then with the exhale, when you're ready, left hand's gonna come underneath the left shoulder, right hand's gonna slide underneath the right shoulder. Right toes are gonna tuck under, right leg straightens, breathe in. Exhale, bink, slide it back, downward facing dog. Pedal out, take the vinyasa if you like to. So you can take a full vinyasa, a modified vinyasa, or the one that we did at the beginning. So I'll show you that one. Inhale forward. Exhale, knees drop. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, neutral. Knees wide. Exhale, child's pose. Maybe stay there, or maybe press into your downward facing dog, your choice. Take a couple of breaths, and then we'll all meet up in our downward facing dog. All right, so working a little bit more into the hips. It's kind of a funky variation of down dog. I think I did it a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of weird though, but I like it. So it's basically a figure 4 position, but in your downward facing dog. So I'll go ahead and show you how to get into that. You're gonna go ahead and press into downward facing dog. Good. And then imagine it's like we're gonna do 3-legged dog, but actually not at all. So instead of lifting my right leg up and back, I'm gonna take my left foot and I'm gonna lift that heel. So I'm high up on that heel, on the toes. I'm gonna lift the right leg, and then with the exhale, I'm gonna pull the knee in, open it up just like we did before, and let the ankle rest on top of the left thigh, and I'm gonna push back, flexing the foot here. Breathing. And if you're like, no thanks, you can always take this down into a hands and knees position. Still feels pretty good, and you can kind of push back. That actually feels really good. Breathe. And then with the exhale, release. We'll pedal out. We'll take it on the other side. So I'm going to lift the left leg like I would for 3-legged dog. I'm going to lift high up onto the ball of the right foot. As I exhale, it's like I'm going to pull my knee into my face, but instead of doing that, I'm going to open up, beak, and I'm going to take the left ankle on top of that right thigh. Flex the left foot, press the left knee open, press the chest back. Breathe there. Remember, you can always pop it down to a hands and knees position if that feels better. And breathe. Take another breath, and with the exhale, gently release. Stretch back, look forward and step or walk feet to hands. Inhale to lengthen halfway. Exhale to fold. I'm going to bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up, breathing in, fix my pants. All right, so then from here, I'm going to take a step out. Hands are on hips. I'm going to take a step out with my left leg. You can step out with your right leg, doesn't matter. But we're going to come into a straddle position with the legs, so your legs make a little V shape here. And then just letting the hands rest on the hips for a couple of breaths. Roll the shoulders back, and then just kind of pay attention to the stability of your legs, and then kind of noticing your tendency of the angle of your toes. So a lot of people tend to want to turn their toes out here. Try to turn them forward, maybe even turn them in, heels out, to get into the outer hips. Sometimes that feels good. So breathe in. And then with the exhale, start to fold forward. As you fold, relax your head and neck down. Breathe here. Elbows are going to point up to the ceiling, so that rolls my shoulders away from the ears. Relax the head and neck. You can shake it out. Tip the weight forward into the balls of the feet, so you're really using the muscles of the legs instead of sitting into those joints. Keep rolling the shoulders away from the ears, like my elbows are going to tap the ceiling. Breathe here. Good. Then from here, when you're ready, take those hands down. I'm going to walk them forward to come into a wide-legged downward facing dog. So walk those hands forward and then press back. Relax the head and neck. Breathe here. From here, I'm going to bring all the weight into my right hand. I'm going to shift the weight to the right, take my left hand and reach for the outside of my right shin or calf or ankle or foot. And I'm going to keep the hips stable so that I can think about looking underneath my right arm for a little twist. So I don't want the hips shifting. I want to pull the left hip back to neutral. And then with the exhale, I'm going to release. Left hand is going to come down. I'm going to shift the weight into the left hand. My right hand is going to reach for the outside of the left leg. I don't want my hips to move, so I'm going to keep pulling the right hip back as I reach. And I can look up underneath that left arm. Breathing here. And then with the exhale, I can release. I'm going to walk the hands back toward the feet. Take the hands to the hips. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale, stay here. Use the power of the legs. Inhale all the way up to standing. Good. And then I'm going to turn my right toes forward, step the left foot up, shake out a little bit. And inhale to reach. Exhale as you fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway. On the exhale, fold. Keep those feet about the width of the hips, maybe a bit wider. Put a nice generous bend in your knees. Relax the head and neck. And you can keep the fingertips down. You can grab opposite elbows or opposite shoulders and hang here. Shake out the head and neck. I like to sway side to side. You can kind of bounce your legs around if it feels good. Good. And then from here, wherever you are, we're going to do a little neck release. So you're going to interlace your fingers, place them behind your head, wrap your hands around your head, and just use the weight of your hands to help release your neck. So we're breathing here. Only if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Then releasing that, inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold, bring the hands down, step back into our downward facing dog. And then again, we're going to come down onto hands and knees. And so the next pose we're going to offer is Anahatasana, puppy pose. So it's a nice heart opener, and if maybe it doesn't feel great, you can always take child's pose instead. Child's pose is like the mini version of puppy pose. If you feel like your chest can't reach your mat or the floor, you can always prop. I'll show you how to do this with just this little pillow that I found. All right, so you're going to come to hands and knees. So first option, take the knees wide, big toes together. Sit into a child's pose, forehead can come down, right? That's your first option. Your next option, knees wide, toes together. I'm going to walk the hands forward so my hips are stacked over my knees. and I'm gonna let the chest come down. So let's say that my chest can't quite touch down, or maybe it does, but it hurts my chin. I'm gonna take a pillow, a couch cushion, whatever you've got at home, and let my chest rest on it so my forehead can come down. Or I don't have to use any props, and I can let my chest and my chin come down. So it opens up the heart space, your shoulder blades spread open like little angel wings. So we're breathing. And then when you're ready, sliding one hand back at a time. Come back to hands and knees. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhaling to cow. Exhale to cat. Coming back to neutral, we're going to press back into our downward facing dog to come into pigeon. Plenty of options for pigeon. I'll show you a couple. So we're going to tuck our toes under and press back. So the first option is we're going to start with the right leg first. You're going to take your right knee and place it behind your right wrist. Let the shin come down. Let the heel be in line with the left hip point. The angle of the shin determines the intensity. The more parallel it is to the front of your mat, the more intensity you're going to feel on the outside of the right hip. Scooting the left leg back. And then if you've got a lot of space between your right hip and the floor, you can take a pillow or something or a blanket and let it rest there. You can walk forward, you can pop down, you can come all the way down if you'd like to. If that's too much on the knee or the hip joint, and especially if you've had a knee or a hip injury, I would recommend skipping this variation and taking it reclined instead. So you would actually come onto your back, knees bent, outside of the right ankle, rest on top of the left thigh, just like we did in that down dog, and hang out here. You can always pull this in and rock side to side. And that's still a nice hip opener, but less stress on the joints if you need that today. So it's up to you, but remember that you're not made to feel this kind of pain, right? So if you feel anything hot, pinching, sharp, stabbing, come out of it. And breathing here, we're going to take about 10 breaths. So as we breathe, just enjoy the sounds of these amazing birds out here. And then when you're ready to start to come back to your hands, if you want to stay there longer, definitely stay there longer. If you're taking pigeon reclined, you can just start to switch sides. So if you're in position this way, tuck those toes under, lift the leg with the exhale, release into down dog. I like to kind of pedal out a little bit. And then when you're ready, we'll take it with the left side. So when you're ready with the exhale, the left knee is going to position behind the left wrist, heel in line with the right hip point, so your leg opens up like a little door. And then we're going to start to scoot this right leg back. And so let's say you're kind of here and you feel like, okay, this is as far as I can go, but there's a lot of space between my right hip and, the left hip and the floor. I can take a pillow or something, cushion, so that I'm not just kind of hanging out in space. I want to be able to support my body. So you can take it that way, or remember, if you're like, ooh, this doesn't feel great, come onto your back. Pull that bend the right knee, and then take the outside of the left ankle on top of the right knee. Obviously, don't let your head just hang out against a couch, but you get the general idea. And so again, remember the position of the shin determines the intensity. So the more parallel it is, the more you're going to feel it in the outside of that left hip. Remember that you can stay on hands as long as you're leaning forward, so you're not putting unnecessary pressure in your lower back. You're not going to want to just sit right here because that's a lot of deep pressure in the lower back that I don't need. And then you can walk forward, you can pop to forearms, you can come all the way down, you can grab a pillow, snuggle it with it. This one's kind of dusty, so I'm not going to. And again, about 10 breaths. If at any point you feel like you need to come out before 10 breaths, that's fine. This is your body, this is your practice. I'm just here to guide you. I'm not here to tell you what's right and what's wrong. Only you know that. And then when you're ready, gently come back to your hands. Start to press back into down dog. If you were in that reclined pigeon, you can just make your way to seated, and we'll all eventually meet up in a seated position. So from our seated position, we're going to go ahead and come into Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose, so we can release that pigeon position. So we worked into the outer hips. Now we're going to kind of want to focus a little bit on the inside. So bringing the soles of the feet together. Remember that your feet don't have to be super close to you. They can be further out if you prefer that. Lengthening the spine, rolling the shoulders down the back. And you have options here. You can just kind of hold onto your knees or your shins. You can lean forward as long as you keep a flat back. Or today, my variation, I'm going to take my fingertips behind me and just press the chest forward, rolling the shoulders open, and breathing here. If you're taking this variation, you can also use your fingertips to help press you forward, but I'm just going to want to keep an open chest right now, breathing. These birds out here are amazing. And then gently release whatever you had. We're going to bring the knees together, extend the legs out in front of us, and then you can just kind of relax back onto your hands. Keep your feet about the width of your hips or so. And you're just going to do little windshield wipers with your toes. So you kind of rotate the head of the femur in your hip a little bit, kind of give it a little bit of motion. My boyfriend likes to make fun of me because I like to say, one of my teachers likes to say, motion is lotion. And I like to say that all the time, and he always thinks it's funny. But it's true, motion is lotion. All right, so now we're going to scoot forward and gently come down onto our backs. All right, so as you come onto your back, just keep your knees bent, pause here. And we're going to take a waterfall position here. So you have a couple of options. Your first option, you can take your hands underneath you with the palms down, just kind of sit on your hands if that feels good to you. I'm actually going to grab this little pillow and use it as my support. So if you have a pillow or a blanket or something, you can grab that. So the first thing we'll do is just kind of press up onto it. So I'll lift the hips and relax down onto it. And it's not a huge lift, but it's enough that it will make my hamstrings happy. Remember, you can always put your hands underneath you, palms down. You may just want to stay here in a supported bridge position. You may want to pull your knees towards your chest, and this feels good. So it's a nice gentle inversion, not a whole lot of intensity here, but a great way to cool you down, calm you down, and help the lymphatic system. So we're going to stay here. Or you have the option of extending the legs. They don't have to be perfectly straight. If you want to keep a bend in your knees because your hamstrings feel tight, that's perfectly fine. And while you're here, you can kind of wiggle your toes, you can roll your ankles around, you can point and flex your feet. Arms can rest wherever you like, breathing. But if you feel like you have to struggle to keep your legs up, then maybe just keep them bent. You're still getting the benefits of an inversion here. Anything that lifts my hips higher than my heart or my feet higher than my hips is an inversion. You can take this at a wall space and bring your legs up and let them rest against a wall if you want to. A little variation of Viparita Karani. All right. Also, we'll take a couple more breaths. And then when you feel ready, you can start to bend the knees if you haven't already done that. Maybe pull those knees in and give them a hug. Unless your hands are underneath you, then you can just kind of hug them in. And then gently start to release, placing the feet down. So we want to come out of it slowly. Take a couple of breaths here, and then gently release your hands or your blanket or your bolster or whatever you've got. Good. And then just come down. And we'll go ahead and pull the knees back into the chest. You can hold the tops of the knees, the backs of the knees, or nothing at all. And if you want to rock side to side here, you can take that option. And we're going to end with a little twist here. So I'm going to go ahead and hold that right leg in, extend the left leg flat. And as I hug the right knee in, I like to rock it side to side. So I like to take my left hand to the left hip point and pull the right knee open, kind of make a circle with it so that I can get into that hip joint a little bit. And you can go both ways with those circles. So they don't have to be big unless it feels good. And then I'm going to pull the right knee in. Take my left hand to the outside of the right knee. Take my right arm, open it up toward the sidewall. I'm going to breathe in, and with the exhale, I'm going to start to cross this leg over my body. So I roll onto the outside edge of my left hip. Right arm relaxes open. Right knee twists over the body. And you're breathing here. And the right arm, let's say your shoulder doesn't touch down, that's okay. Take your right arm down a little bit towards your mat, or you can even let it rest on your body if that feels better, especially if you've had a shoulder injury. And we're breathing here. And then when you're ready, bring that right knee in. Give it a little hug. And we'll switch sides. So left knee in, right leg down. Pulling that left knee in, right hand can rest on top of the hip point, and you can kind of pull that knee open and make little circles, kind of guide it around to get into the hip joint a little bit, and then you can reverse the direction of those circles. Good. And then from here, we'll take our twist. So I'm just scooting a little bit because I don't want to run into this little thing. So I'm going to take the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left arm is going to open up. I'm going to breathe in. And with the exhale, I'm going to cross the knee over my body. So I roll onto the outside edge of my right hip. My left arm opens up. So notice my left shoulder is a little bit lifted, and that's okay. If it feels painful, though, I'm going to bring my left arm down. Or I can even rest my hand on my body if that feels good. And I'm breathing, thinking about both shoulders flattening out. Breathing, not forcing, just breathing. Take another deep breath. Exhale, and then gently bring yourself back through center. Hug both knees into your chest. Give them a little thank you. And then we'll go ahead and start to prepare for Shavasana. So remember, your Shavasana can be any restful position. Usually it's taken reclined on the back, but you can always lie on your side or on your abdomen. You can walk over to your couch and lie down there if you'd rather. Anything that feels comfortable for you. But you want to be able to rest for a few moments. I strongly encourage you to take a full Shavasana, taking about maybe 10 minutes or so. So you can turn the video off, or if you'd rather just take a couple of minutes, you can hang out with me. But Shavasana to me is the pose that kind of brings everything together. It's the pose that makes me feel really good after I start to come up. So if you want to take Shavasana, I strongly advise it. All right, so taking a couple of deep breaths wherever you happen to be, you can let the eyes close, the gaze just softens. Shoulders away from the ears, the jaw relaxes, fingertips curl in, feet relax. Shoulders away from the ears, jaw relaxes, tongue away from the roof of the mouth. And coming back to that 4-part breath, if it serves you. So with the breath in, we're going to breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe here. Relax the shoulders. Let the breath be steady. Let it be calm. Let it be natural. And as you breathe, come back to that intention of feeling connected, allowing your practice to be global, offering your practice up as a way to connect us all in loving kindness. Allowing your practice to be an offering to all those who are suffering, to all those living in fear, to all those feeling hopeless. And now imagine that loving kindness as a ball of yellow light hovering right above the tip of your nose. And imagine that with every breath in, that little ball gets a little bit bigger, and with every exhale, a little brighter, a little warmer. And as you continue to breathe, this orb of yellow light eventually becomes so big that your whole body is encompassed in a warm yellow light, where you feel safe, calm, secure, connected, comfortable. You feel peace. You feel a feeling of pure contentment surrounding you. And as you continue to breathe, imagine that this yellow light expands so much that it starts to encompass and envelop the other people in your house, your neighbors, the people in your neighborhood. And as you continue to breathe, it continues to expand, connecting and wrapping up all the people close to you. And imagining that as you continue to breathe, it encompasses more and more people. Until you feel that we are all connected in this warm yellow light, that we are all safe, secure, that we are all healthy and well, that we are all grounded and connected. And now take another very deep breath in, the deepest breath you can take in. Hold that breath in. Open the mouth, exhale, slowly release. And then gently begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, adding some small movements until maybe you feel ready to take a nice long stretch. And then maybe you feel ready to roll onto your right side. And gently press up to a seated position or any comfortable position that you like. The eyes can stay closed, or you can just soften the gaze. And now bringing the hands together at the heart in prayer, rolling the shoulders down the back. Closing our practice, reminding ourselves that we are all connected, that the power of our intentions connects us all. And so we take it upon ourselves to offer up our intention, to offer up our practice, our meditation, our breath, our positive thoughts. We offer those to all who are suffering, all living in fear, all who are feeling hopeless, so that they too can be wrapped in a warm yellow light, so that they too can feel safe, secure, supported, and so that no one feels alone. And so we offer up our practice, our intention, our breath, our meditation. And we close saying together and to each other, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. There's a little bee over here. I appreciate you practicing with me. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday afternoon at 4:30 for a Vinyasa flow practice. And again, I appreciate you. I thank you. Continue to do good. Continue to keep yourselves safe. And continue practicing with me, whether physically or maybe just listening and breathing with me. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye.